Hey guys, want to bring you another YouTube video about the wealth tax that is proposed from California. California legislature proposes a 0.4% wealth tax plus 16.8% income tax. And so I actually heard about this a while back from my friends complaining about this, and then also saw this on the news. So I'm going, and this is actually one of the reasons why I'm not really surprised. I kind of saw this, same with my wife, uh, and that's one of the reasons why we left to Washington early on, because we left almost now 6 years ago. And I'm very glad, because the way things were run from the government, the way it was going, we didn't think it was going to be worse, but it seems like it's getting worse there. So just one, especially with the pandemic, it seems like you would think that the government would try to help in this sense, but it seems like they're trying to raise the taxes on everybody even more. And that's why, again, we left to Washington, because there's no state income tax there. That's why right now you're seeing a lot of states that are actually getting more people, like Washington area. What is it? Nevada, Texas. I believe Alaska is one of them that is non income tax. Tennessee and Florida, or even a lower taxes somewhere else if you like. But I really don't know why they would actually do this, especially with everything going on. But so I'll highlight on some of the things, and I'm going to put in the description and some of the videos and also blogs more information, so get more word or information regarding this, because if you live in California, again, it's probably going, if this does pass, it could affect you right away. I believe they're trying to get it passed by November in the ballots, or have it voted on. But this is what you got to keep an eye out on. And then also, I know New York was another hot spot that they're thinking to have some type of wealth tax, but then Andrew Cuomo is now trying to get some of the billionaires back. So, especially if there's stuff closed, it's making people think, hey, I could work somewhere else. So why am I paying a luxury for this? And I'll attach the assemblyman that I interviewed with a news anchor with Fox News. Just pay attention to more of the assemblyman on his answers, because I thought he was pretty arrogant. Again, I found out in another YouTube video clip recommendation, because I was researching on this. And again, I know some might not like Fox News or CNN. Again, I usually try to pay attention who they're interviewing and see what type of information you can get from it. I just thought him trying to say California has the best weather, so that's why you're going to stay here. You built your wealth here, so now you can't really leave. And then also, like, I dare you to kind of like that type of, I guess, confidence, thinking that, well, I dare you to leave California because we're the best state. So, and I don't think the government understands there is a mass exodus. There are a lot more people leaving to a better place, a better quality of life. And again, we left 6 years ago. Now, Washington didn't turn out good for us, but Nevada has. And so, again, I whether how you vote or anything like that, if you do leave, you want to vote for why you left. You don't want the same mistakes from where you're leaving, because then it's going to be the same thing where you're living now. Even if you don't live Nevada or wherever you go, you just want to be able to vote for what makes things so great where you're going. So you don't want things being changed to like somewhere like California where you're trying to run away from. But let me highlight some of the stuff here on Forbes. Again, they're trying to raise the tax from 13.3% on your income tax to 16.8%. That's a 3.5% difference. So that's quite a bit. The 0.4% wealth tax is to the anyone that's net worth is above $30 million. So if you have a bunch of houses, if you have a bunch of stocks, whatever, it does not mean your income tax of $30 million. It means your net worth, everything that you're worth. So if you have apparently anything holding in internationals, it's that same thing. Assets, that counts. So it would be the first, again, for any of the states. And usually, yes, I do give California some credit on the first of certain things. That makes sense. But I don't think this is going to make sense in that sense, because 16.8% at the rate you're going, it's almost 1/5 of your income tax, of your income. So even my wife and I were talking about, if my son, because he loves playing basketball, shooting hoops, if he was drafted to the Warriors, Lakers, or Clippers, make the math easy. You're going to lose, say you got a $100 million contract. You're going to lose $16,800,000. Now, I know some people will be like, well, you got $100 million, but these athletes have to live off that for a long time. That's why they could be broke if they're taking care of family, friends. If they don't watch out for their money, thinking, oh, I came from a state that was, and these athletes don't know how to manage their money. That's why they have to have someone they could trust. If they're coming from Texas or Florida, somewhere that has no state income tax, and they didn't realize, wow, I'm actually not making as much. I spent most of it, and that's not living. So I just feel bad in that sense if you're an athlete, because you're probably not going to have these athletes or high free agency not wanting to go there unless you make a uber amount of money that makes sense. Especially if more people are leaving, what's the point? You already have Elon Musk leaving to Texas. You have Joe Rogan leaving to Texas also. So that's where you might not have as much opportunity if that's what you're trying to go California for, because of Silicon Valley. The second Silicon Valley might be growing even more in Austin, Texas. So let's see what else I want to highlight here. Oh, I think I want to highlight, again, it's supposed to raise $7.5 billion annually. Again, if the billionaires and millionaires leave to go somewhere else, you're not supposedly getting it. Now, here's some of the things that I thought would be kind of unconstitutional. Let me find it eventually. Where supposedly, and that's what the guy, assemblyman, said on Fox News, and apparently on here it's true, is that they're going to try retroactive starting from January of this year. And if you say leave now, before, so if you leave, because that might be a lawsuit or argument, but if you leave before January 2020, that's what they're saying, you're not going to be affected. But supposedly, if you leave right now, like what Joe Rogan and Elon Musk might be doing, you will still probably get taxed for the past next 10 years. So I don't see how that's constitutional. And so let's see. I want to give more. Again, it's AB 1253 if you want to read more about it. Let's see. So it says also, if past high-income Californians would pay another 1% on income over 1,181,484, and then 3% income over $2,362,968 and 3.5% on income over $5,907,420. These dollar threshold looks odd, but are 1 million, 2 million, and 5 million plus inflation adjustment. They will hit only very high income earners. So again, for some people in California, because the income you are could be making pretty good money based on Silicon Valley. That's going to get hit quite a bit. Let's see. Again, you could read the Assembly Bill 1253. If it passes, cause some Californians to hop in their Teslas, like what they're saying, and head to Texas, Nevada, or Washington State. I could tell you, Nevada, Las Vegas, specifically Henderson and Summerlin, there is a lot of construction and still high demand for housing. When even though a lot of people are unemployed here, we noticed. So we were surprised that I even looked up my house. I was surprised it's still maintained or it's gone up, depending on Zillow if you see. But again, I was surprised to see my neighbors' houses sold within a week or less, or this area. So, but most of them are coming from either I've seen California, New York, and so it really depends if you're coming from a high tax area, it seems like, and somewhere that is dense too. Let's see. So right here, that's where I was talking about moving sounds easy, but if you aren't careful how you do it, you could end up leaving California yet being asked to keep paying California taxes. California has a broad reach into their states. In some cases, California can assess taxes no matter where you live. Should this discourage you? No, but it pays to know what you are up against. Many would-be former Californians have a hard time distancing themselves from California, and that may not plan on California tax authorities pursuing them. So what they're kind of saying, you got to distance. So like Elon Musk, he would pretty much have to sell all his assets in California, make sure he's no longer has anything attached to California. Same thing, what I had to do with my business and anything, sold our house, everything that we possibly could at the time. So that way we didn't have any attachment. Same thing, Joe Grogan, from what I've heard, is starting that process. So you want to make sure that you don't have any attachment. Make sure you're more of attached to where you live now. I remember a co-worker of mine in Nevada said that California tried getting her even though she works remotely. So definitely talk to a CPA, talk to a professional, but you just want to make sure you're doing everything right to make sure you're not attached there. Again, those rules are unforgiving, and when fighting California tax bills, procedure counts your exposure to audit can be frightening. The IRS can audit 3 to 6 years, but California can sometimes audit forever. Several things can give the FTB an unlimited amount of time to audit you. California, like the IRS, gets unlimited time if you never file an income tax return. Yet some worry that saying goodbye to California taxes can mean hello to residency audit. Yet the fact that the top tax rate could be raised to 16.8% retroactively could put some people on the move despite the risk audit. So I think you're better off trying to move if you can or afford it. All right. Let me know what you think. Again, I'm trying to give as much information. Like I said, I always thought California was great. I grew up there for almost 31 years, and so after leaving the first time to Washington, it opened up my eyes like, hey, California doesn't have as much great things as I thought. And like I said, coming to Nevada, I wish we went to Nevada first. But everything worked out for a reason. We love it here. Again, if you come to Nevada or decide to move to Nevada, Washington, Texas, Tennessee, Florida, just remember, if you're coming from California or New York, why you're leaving there. you don't want the same mistakes happening to wherever you're now living, because it is expensive to move. All right. Go ahead and like, share, comment, subscribe on what you thought about this new proposal. And if you're planning to move or leave, if this gets a lot of likes, again, I'll put out more information to help you guys transition. All right, thanks.